Enter at your own peril and ask the bolted doors where impossible things may happen that the world's never seen before.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to my review of One Piece Chapter 1064. And boy, is this a crazy chapter because we got so many things confirmed in this one. Before we start off with any of that, though, I just wanted to cover all the stuff that we usually cover at the beginning of every live stream, which, if you're a fan, you probably know this already, but I'm just going to go over it for any of the new people. So we do have a Patreon, and you can sign up to donate to the channel at www.patreon.com/AfroX. There you will find a page saying AfroX is creating anime content, and I am indeed. So you can sign up in increments of $5, $10, $30, $50, or $100 a month. And you will get different rewards based on those. I won't go over the rewards right now. But you can check those out if you head to the website. Anyways, we also have merch. If you go to, sorry about that, if you go to www.teespring.com/stores/afro-x-2, and by the way, link in the description of every edited video that I do, you will find the AfroX t-shirt. It goes for about $30 US. On the front, it has the AfroX logo, and on the back, it has the AfroX slogan, which is, of course, stay legendary. We also have a TikTok on the app or on the website. You can find us at AfroX_YT. That is the official TikTok, and I do just weird random stuff, rants sometimes on there, and that's fun. On Facebook, you can find us at AfroX. Or if you look for the group, the official AfroX fan club, that is also on there. If you join that group, you will be added to a chat where you will get pretty much an advance notice if I have to skip a week or if anything different is happening in the channel. Last but certainly not least, we do have a Twitter, which is at the real AfroX. So that is all of the sponsor stuff. Let us get into the chapter. So, One Piece chapter 1064, which is technically titled Egghead's Research Stratum. We get the cover page we've been waiting for. Confirmed Aokiji, or Kuzan. Confirmed Kuzan, with a slightly different looking costume here. We also have Van Auger and Pudding. So Pudding has been confirmed to be captured, and they are currently standing on Blackbeard's ship. This is actually really cool because this is the cover story coming into the main story, which even more of that will be coming in later. So in Ichiro Oda's notes, we get, I'm hooked on Bayashi TV's videos. Those burgers of his wouldn't be the same without those iconic black rubber gloves. I even bought a pair of my own. So Oda giving a real big shout out to Bayashi TV. I don't know if that's a YouTube channel or what it is, but they just got a promo. So we are right into the Blackbeard versus Law battle. It is super, super, super exciting. Um, so uh Blackbeard and Law just duking it out. Right off the bat, Law creates a room and just straight up chops Stronger in half. Just straight up chops him in half. Blackbeard saying, "No one told me his power he could do that. Is he using an awakened technique?" And so Blackbeard comes back with Quake Crash, and apparently his shockwaves have gotten stronger because the entire crew is affected by this. Um, the shockwaves are too intense, they say. So Dot Q throws out a what looks like apples and to help out Stronger, and everybody yells their apple bombs take cover. So from under the water, one of Law's crewmates shoots up water or something. He shoots up something and blows up the apple bomb. So at the beginning of this, Law gave orders to his crew before this battle all really started to get going. And so excuse me. Just as b.d.a. Law was saying, we are really getting a look at how useful Law's crew actually is. Apparently, and I didn't notice this on the first read through, but apparently Doc Q gets blown up by this. Pretty much his crew's like, yeah, you guys ain't got a chance against us in a sea battle because you guys all have devil fruit powers, and we grew up in the North Sea, so we all used to this. And so they start trying to sink Blackbeard's ship. A very, very good tactic to attack from underneath. One thing I want to point out is it's super cool that like as they are fighting, the one thing that Blackbeard did not anticipate was the awakened powers of Law and Kid and even Luffy and stuff. Blackbeard is still running on the mindset that nobody has gotten better, that nobody has improved. He's running on the mindset that everybody has their same base powers from like back in Sabbaty, and that is absolutely not the case. And that might just be Blackbeard's downfall, is that he continually underestimates every one of his opponents, and does not do his research. He straight up does not know what Law can do. So Jean Bart, who's the big guy on Law's crew, so the polar bear guy, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he's a sniper at 3 o'clock. So Jean Bart stands in front of Law to block Van Auger's attack, and Van Auger says he's some bodyguard. And So Law does K Room and performs Shock Veal, where he covers his sword in like the room thing and then stabs someone through it, which it gives the effect of being stabbed through without really hurting them, I guess. I don't know. I still don't know how Shock Veal really works. But anyway, he stabs Blackbeard straight through. And I think what this attack does is it literally hits your willpower. He's stabbing straight through your willpower. And so this hits Blackbeard very hard, really hard, gets a good hit in. And Van Auger sees this happen, and he says what is very true about Blackbeard, and what is the main point of all this is what happens when you charge in half cocked. So Van Auger is obviously the tactician of the group.
Okay, I found this on the web for
He
this is what
he
happens when you charge and half cocked.
Siri,
Check
I'm
it
not
out.
talking to you. Anyways, um so Van Auger is just like, yeah, this is what happens when you just charge in without knowing anything about your opponent. And yeah, that is Blackbeard's weakness. Yeah, he has multiple devil fruit powers, but the thing is that he's stupid. He underestimates all his opponents, and he does not do his homework. He doesn't know enough about his opponent. So in a way, he's exactly like Luffy. Both of them charge into fights thinking they can win. They don't know anything about their opponent. They aren't using any rational thinking. Um, but that also concerns me because it means that, like, if Blackbeard is running on this ideal, then just like Luffy, he might just be able to win fights by raw strength. Anyways, so Van Iger says this is what happens when you charge and half cocked, and does warp to warp a Blackbeard to him. And Van Iger says, "Are we going back to the ship, Commodore?" And Blackbeard says, "Don't be an idiot. We finish what we start." um, so Blackbeard jumps down, appears before Law, and Law says, "Do all of your officers have devil fruit powers? Must be a pretty raw deal hauling around so many anchors," literally taunting him and saying, "Hey, all your entire crew can't swim, bruh." And Blackbeard comes back with one of the best lines that I've ever heard and says, "They call them devil fruits for a reason. That weakness is well worth the trade-off." But just, they call them devil fruits for a reason. I love that. Supposedly saying because devil fruits are supposed to be eaten and used by the worst people, by devils. Or perhaps he's saying that they call them devil fruits because they literally drag you to hell, um, because you can't swim. So we get a shot of Blackbeard's ship being attacked from below. And they're saying, who knew they were so strong underwater? And the prisoners in here say, "We might be taking a pounding now, but they'll be history soon. The Commodore is the strongest around," which is weird. Oh, no. So these are, yeah, these are the jailers that have locked up Pudding inside the ship. And then we get to see a full shot of Pudding complete with third eye, which now confirms that the cover story and the actual chapter are one now. There is no difference between the two. The cover story and the main chapter are the cover story is now canonical. Because in the cover story, we of course saw Pudding on the ship with Kuzan and Van Auger, and now Pudding is in the chapter in the hold of the brig. This brings up scary stuff, because if the cover story is now part of the chapter, that means that Law now has to contend with Kuzan. Law now has to fight Kuzan, which is arguably slightly scarier than Blackbeard, because Kuzan by himself took over Whole Cake Island, completely froze, or at least froze Chocolate Town, but completely took over Whole Cake Island. And I honestly don't think Law could beat Kuzan. I mean, this might be the Admiral fight that's coming up. Is technically is like Law beats up on Blackbeard because Blackbeard is not planning, and then Blackbeard's just like, "Yo, Kuzan, step in and finish this dude," and Law just like ices the entire place, or Kuzan just ices the entire place. So this is very scary. This is very scary. Law.
I didn't get that.
Law might not make it out of this. So so then we get a shot of what is it? What's the name of his attack? Shockville. Yes, we get a shot of Shockville versus the Quake power versus the Seaquake. And this is when Blackbeard brings out his other power and goes Black Vortex. So then we cut to the new Marineford. It is confirmed that the name of the island they are on is called Winter Island, which is interesting. And so Akainu says, "So we're forced to wait again," being a reference back to Blackbeard versus Ace. And so he says, being Fleet Admiral is so damn frustrating. So then we cut to Egghead Island, back to the Straw Hats. Meanwhile, on Egghead, the island of the future, the pacifista stops because Bonnie has changed the ages of all of the Straw Hats, and we get confirmed what Luffy will most likely look like in his old age at 70 years old. So Bonnie has aged both Luffy and Chopper to 70 years old. She's reduced her age to a child, and apparently we're seeing Kid Jimbei, which I think is pretty cool that we get to see Kid Jimbei. So they're pretty much talking about, or Jinbei's talking about his knowledge of Kuma and saying how Kuma was a tyrannical ruler who was deposed by the people and forced to become a pirate. And then once he was a pirate, then the government hated him and said he could only roam the seas if he agreed to become an experiment and become a specimen for body modification and cloning. So Bonnie then brings out what looks like a gyroscope on a stick, and a beam comes out of it, and pretty much attacks Jinbei with this, which does confirm now that lightsabers do exist in the One Piece world. Hashtag Star Wars. So she attacks him and says, Daddy was no stinking tyrant, and he hated the government. He'd never submit to them. Luffy goes, a beam saber, that's awesome. And we get to see more of Luffy's old face, which I think is just really, really awesome. Chopper as an old reindeer looks really gross, though, not gonna lie. Anyways, so Bonnie keeps going on saying Dad always used to say he was part of a very special race, but so what? Him being different doesn't justify forcing him to be a lab rat, and I sure doesn't know how to justify killing him. So now we know that Kuma and Bonnie, by proxy, are a special race that we have not heard of before. Possibly Kuma is a giant. Who knows? I don't know. Anyways, so she transforms Luffy and Chopper back. And we cut away to back to the Thousand Sunny, which is currently being rocketed through the sky by Vegapunk's robot. By Lilith's robot, because as b.d.a. Law, Grand Line Review, and the community are kind of calling them now, they're calling the different Vegapunk bodies by their names. So yeah, so they're like, naturally this is Vega Force 1 after all. So it says that this is anti-grav. They are flying above the island now. And looking down, Frankie says it's like some kind of futuristic city. And Lilith says, precisely, the world of tomorrow is built here. This is Egghead, the island of the future. The research stratum is right above the clouds. Fabrication stratum is just below us. Our manufacturers and research assistants reside there. Blah, 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 blah. Your captain is down there. Go get some new clothes. So we get the costume changes for the Egghead arc for all of the characters. And damn! Nami and Robin are walking fan service at this moment, which is really, really cool. So yeah, they're all talking about this, and then Vegapunk 1, which is Logic Punk. That sounds cool. Or I guess we could call him Daft Punk because he's wearing that kind of helmet. Daft Punk, that's funny. Anyways, which is technically the opposite of Logic Punk. Anyways, he says the problem with being a genius is that you can see your own future coming too. And a voice over apparently a phone says, "What are you talking about, Vegapunk?" And he says, "I think I'll be dead soon." So I'm guessing that that number 1 Logic Punk is the original Vegapunk. The original Vegapunk body, at least. So the voices don't kid about something like that. And Vegapunk says, "I just wanted you to know about this, Dragon." So it is confirmed that Vegapunk is talking to Monkey D. Dragon, Luffy's father, and so Vegapunk is at least partially part of the Revolutionary Army. And so it's confirmed that this is why there's been some glitches in Kuma, or Kuma retained part of his personality as a warlord. Also, so it's confirmed. It's pretty much confirmed that Vegapunk is working and has been working against the world government. And he is in contact with the revolutionaries. This chapter was absolutely amazing. We got a lot of things confirmed in it, but one thing that is confirmed that I'm not excited about is we do have a break next week. So the next time that you will see me talking about a chapter will be in 2 weeks, probably about the first week or the first Friday of November. I'd guess. So I'm very, very excited. Sorry. Wow. I'm very, very excited for that. Anyways, a happy Halloween to everybody, because that is coming up. This week I will be releasing on Tuesday my Halloween based video. And so I'm very excited for that. But yeah, super psyched to catch up with you guys in 2 weeks when One Piece chapter 1065 comes out. So, I guess all that's left to say is stay tuned for the next piece of One Piece, to be continued.